This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai. Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahushai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahushai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Mokah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and taught me this truth. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai's sake. Our brother Samad from the GMS Miami camp. And yeah, the reason why I brought up the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 30, is we're coming in the time where the Lord's about to make his appearance. And his appearance is going to literally rattle all you nations, okay? Because he's come, one, to judge you nations, but two, all right, to deliver his chosen people, which are the elect of Israel, all right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as confusion of faces scattered abroad, all right? And these are the times that we're coming in because, hey, if you haven't been paying attention to what's been going on in the world, all right, the signs are out there, all right? So let me get to the book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 17. And I'll start from there. It says, and it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, right, we're in the last days. I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams, right? And this is happening now, all right, on a global level where you have everybody, okay, those that are seeing the end is coming, all right? Whether you have these heathens talking about what's going on with the nations and the brink of war, all right? Also, people reporting all these so-called UFOs in the sky, all right? And this is what's happening because, hey, we're living in the last days. Verse 18, but here's the point. And on my servants, meaning the Lord has specific servants, and on my handmaids I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy, right? Because how are they going to prophesy? All right? They're going to prophesy using the scriptures, using the word, all right? And that's because the prophecies are of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. In fact, let me get the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10. And it says, and I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushai. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushai is the spirit of prophecy, right? And that's the Lord's servants, all right? His very few elect, all right, that are going to be in the spirit of Yahushai by prophesying, all right? And that's how you know we're living in the last days, all right? And this is the gift that the Lord gave, all right, to his chosen people, all right, which is the elect, because you 2/3, you're still not going to hearken to these scriptures. So back to the book of Acts, chapter 17, chapter 2, verse 17, and it says, verse 19, I will show wonders in heaven above and signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. Right, and hey, hasn't the world been seeing that? All right, from you having fires in California, all right? Once again, you have an uptick in UFO, so-called UFO signs, which are the chariots, all right? A mass death, all right? Verse 20, a lot of people dying, all right, from wars, famine, pestilence. Verse 20, the sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood. Right, you have that blood moon, that wolf moon that happened yesterday. So these are the signs, and the elect of Israel are seeing it, and they're using the scriptures to bring it out before that great and notable day of the Lord come. Right, and all this is happening because the Lord's about to make his appearance. All right, Verse 21, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Right. And who's that whosoever? The children of Israel. All right, the elect. Let me get the book of Acts, back to the book of Acts, just to show you who the Lord is dealing with. Book of Acts chapter 2, verse 5. It says, I'll start at Acts chapter 2, verse 4. And there were all filled with the Holy Spirit, began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. Right. And you're going to have a lot of Israelites speaking different tongues, different languages. All right. More specifically, the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. You have them speaking English, Creole, Patois, Spanish. All right. Portuguese, so on and so forth. All right. But they're going to come into the under one body, which is the scriptures. All right. And bring out the scriptures, all right, according to the spirit of Yahushua. All right. And if you look at any camp that's coming in the spirit of Yahushua, is GMS, Great Millstone. Verse 5. And there was dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Right. So it proves that the Lord only came back for Israelites. All right. They're going to receive this message, not the whole world. Verse 6. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. Verse 7. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans? Verse 8. And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born? Right, because it's going to be amazing to see all these different Israelites coming from all these nations, all right? Yeah, they're speaking their language, but they believe in the same doctrine, all right? They believe in the same truth, which is that the Lord only came for the children of Israel, okay? The elect. Verse 8 and verse 9, Parthians and Medes and Amlites and dwellers in Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia. Verse 10, Phrygia and Pamphylia in Egypt and in parts of Libya about Cyrene, and strangers of Rome, Jews and proselytes. Verse 11, Cretus and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of the Most High. Right. And just like it was back then, all these Israelites that were scattered in all these other in these nations and in these cities, all right, they heard the word and they hearkened onto it, just like it's happening again today. All right. Verse 12, and they were all amazed and were in doubt, saying one to another, what meaneth this? Right, because a lot of people are still going to be amazed, like, what is this? All these and you see it with the camps that are scattered all throughout the world. All these great millstone camps. All right, you have a lot of great millstone camps in South America. All right, and on the islands, all right, the Caribbean islands. All right, people are wondering, like, they're all speaking the same doctrine, just in their own tongue. Because hey, all right, this is the truth. Let's get another one just to prove that the Lord's only coming back for the Israelites. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 12. I'll start at 10. In that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Right, and who's the root of Jesse? That's talking about Yahushua, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus. All right? Which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Right, and that's talking about Israelite foreigners, man, because they were in a Gentile state of mind. Okay, in fact, let me get, I believe it's book of Ephesians, chapter 2. Slovakia. Let me what? Bear with me one moment. All right. All right, here it goes. Ephesians chapter 2, verse 11. Wherefore, remember that ye were in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision, in the flesh made by hands. Verse 12, that at that time ye were without the Mashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without the Most High in the world. Right. And that's talking about Israelite foreigners, all right, because they were Gentiles in the flesh, all right. They were following after the heathen customs, just like it is today, all right. We have a lot of our people still following the heathen customs, all right. And so they have this Gentile state of mind. But there's going to be a very few remnant that are going to wake up to this truth and come back to the fold. And that's what you need to understand, because that's the only, that's who's getting delivered, are the Israelites, all right? Yeah, so that's it. Just that to make that point. See if there's anything else. Past. Let me see if there's another one. Past. I think there's one more. Past Gentiles. I think it's in. Let me type this out. I'm just going with the Spirit. Just bear me one moment. First Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2. I'll start at 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I will not have you ignorant. All right, this is Paul speaking. Verse 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles, this is past, were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led. Right. And that's talking about, all right, the Israelite foreigners, all right, because they were following after the customs of the heathen. That's why Paul had to go to all those cities, Corinth, all right, Ephesians, Rome, all right, to preach the gospel, to get those Gentile state of mind Israelites, all right, to wake up to who they were, just like what we're doing today, all right. We had a great millstone. We're telling, all right, our people, you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, as well as the confusion of faces scattered abroad. Hey, you're the Israelites. You're not Negro. You're not Latino. You're not Native American. All right, those are Gentile. That's a Gentile state of mind. Come back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Come back to being an Israelite. All right, that's your heritage. That's your culture. All right, that was the nationality that the Lord gave you. All right, stop following after these dumb idols, because that's how you were led away, all right? Because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments. In fact, let me get the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. Let's start at 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the Lord thy power, to observe and do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Right. So you had a curse that will come upon our people. They didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And one of those curses was to follow after idols and be scattered abroad. All right. Taking on those customs of the heathens. Let me bring it out. Is in it. Here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood or stone, either wood and stone. You see that? So that's why, okay, Paul said you were carried away onto these dumb idols, all right, which you were led, all right, which are these false religions, all right, these false gods, all right. Mainly, if you look at today, Christianity, all right, is a false god, it's a false image. Let's go back to the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 12. All right. So now we got the understanding of the Gentiles. All right, these are Israelite foreigners. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people, to which shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which are the Israelites, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shamar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea, right, where all the Israelites were scattered at. And verse 12, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. You see that? That's the reason why in the book of James, all right, because James said it perfectly. This is the whole book of James, all right, was directly, okay, catered to the Israelites. James, a servant of the Most High and the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting, right? So the whole book of James is talking about Israelites. All right? And that's who the Lord is coming to save. All right, that's when the Son of Man is about to make an appearance. He's going to deliver the children of Israel that were scattered into all these other nations. Let's go to the book of Revelation, chapter 7, verse 1. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. Right, let's talk about the winds. It's a metaphoric for the nuclear missiles to drop. All right, the angels are holding back the nuclear war. Why? Verse 2, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. Verse 4, and I heard the number of them which were sealed, and they were sealed in 144,000 of the tribes of the children of Israel. And that's what the Lord is going to deliver. All right, the children of Israel, starting with the 144,000, all right, as well as the 1/3 elect men, women, and children. That's it. The rest of you heathens and you 2/3, get ready to be judged by fire, and those that survived. All right, you 2/3 are going to die by fire, and those that survive of you heathens, all right, because only the heathens are going to be surviving, because they're going to be our slaves in the kingdom of heaven. Y'all better get ready for 1,000 years of slavery. All right, and if you can't receive it, that's on you. Only the elect are going to receive it. Last scripture, we're going to go back to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and Lord willing, this was edifying. All right. Back to the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of the trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of heaven to the other, right? And that's the Israelites. And that's who the Lord is coming for. All right. And he's going to send his angels to gather his people, the elect, all right, from the 4 corners of the earth. All right, in fact, let me get the book of Luke just to hammer it home. Chapter 1, I believe it's around the 70th verse. Luke chapter 1, verse 68. Blessed be the Lord power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, right, the Israelites, the elect. Verse 69, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of servant David. Verse 7, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, right? That's what you see the men on the highways and byways telling you that the Lord's only coming back for Israel, the elect, to deliver them out of all the nations that were scattered, all right, before the nuclear missiles drop, all right, which have been since the world began. Verse 71, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand from the hand of all that hate us. Verse 72, right, who hates us? You heathens and you 2/3, all right, verse 72. To perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, right? Which covenant did he make? with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's plain. If you know the Bible, it's plain. The Bible is written by Israelites for Israelites, all right? And only the elect are going to get this. Verse 73, to the oath which he swore to our father Abraham, all right? Period. Period. Okay? So, yeah, that was it, man. Lord willing, us edifying. Once again, the Lord's coming back to deliver his people, the elect of Israel, all right? And he's going to judge you 2/3, and he's going to judge you heathens, and you heathens get ready for slavery. So with that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Okak, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle, great millstone, who well taught us this truth. And salutation to the Akhmat. They're pushing this truth to sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep the door, keep the faith. And Lord willing, us edifying. With that, shalom.